So recently I've been making videos about my engine, but I haven't been making videos about my ZDev dependencies, so I've decided to call ZDEP for Z dependencies. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is bigInts because those are the most popular on my channel, and also it's the one I've spent the most time on. First of all, I license all my dependencies under the GPL v3 license because it's an open source license, and if you use it, you also have to make your project open source, which I'm a big fan of open source, so that's why I used it. I don't know if I should have done GPL v2 though, so. Second thing, it's now version 2.12.3 as of the recording of this audio. I've created my own version handling system to measure this stuff called the ZIVH, which you can read more about in the README attached to the GitHub in the description. I'm not going to go too in depth on the changes I made to bigInts because I'm going to make another dedicated video on that soon, but probably not that soon actually. The next thing I want to go over is bitset.hpp, which I decided is version 2.2.1. I've given this a lot of care over the past couple days as of recording this, and now it's got a lot more features. These defines are like bitset no include, so it'll give you an implementation of the bitset without any hashtag includes like stdblib.h, string.h, or hashtag include vector. So it'll be a more lighter version, but it won't be as optimal. And then you can also do bitset set size, so since you're not including vector, you have to define the size of the bitset. You can also define bitset dynamic size. If you're not defining bitset no include, you have to define bitset dynamic size. And you can also define bitset variable type, which will change what variable type the bitset uses to store its zeros and ones. By default is unsigned int, but you can change this to whatever you want. Collision.hpp hasn't received much new stuff. It's version 1.2.2 as of my calculation because I don't really update it that often. There's some stuff I do want to do to it, but it's not my top priority right now. Keyboard.hpp is something I do want to talk about though. It's version 1.8.1 as far as I know. Its documentation is just how to use keyboard.keyhit, RGFWA, which is pretty self-explanatory how to use this. It doesn't have any hashtag defines that you can do to make it more customizable, which I do kind of want to do in the future, but it's not really a big deal right now. But this is the most advanced keyboard single header file that I've ever seen, but I haven't done much research into it. It has stuff like key hit, key pressed, key released, key idle, keys pressed, keys hit. It's got any key pressed, any key hit. It's got what key pressed, what key hit, what keys pressed, what keys hit, and a bunch of other stuff that returns a vector of all sorts of keys. It's got keybind, so you can rebind keys, which won't affect performance because the only way to get the keybinded keys is by using the keys press keybind functions. There's also just the normal functions to not check for keybinds. And there's stuff like simulate keys, which will make the program or the engine think that you're pressing a key. And then you can update your modifier keys to see if you have like caps lock or anything. And then there's a bunch of functions that use memset to like reset keys, reset key states, full reset keys, hit all keys, press all keys, release all keys, lock all keys, stuff of that nature. And what reset keys does, it makes it so that you can use key hit the next frame. Reset key states makes all the key set states not exist anymore, basically. A full reset keys will reset the keys that you've pressed so you can hit a key multiple times in the same frame, and it'll also reset all the key states. Hit all keys will make the program think you just hit every single key on your keyboard that frame. Press all keys thinks that you're pressing every single key on your keyboard. Release all keys, same thing. Lock all keys makes it so that the program will not let you press any more keys through a key hit function, I believe, but key presses will still work because that is just too much overhead. And all this stuff works by changing some values that it already checks for, so it's not actually going to affect performance at all. And it's been updated to work with RGFW, which I'll talk about more in a separate video as well. Math.hpp has also received a bunch of improvements, like some optimizations. It's got a bunch of hashtag defines for all sorts of different math variables like pi and e and the golden ratio and the square root of 2, 3, and 5. It's got a whole bunch of stuff that I just felt like researching one day and added them as hashtag defines. And you can make it include bigInts and bitsets if you want to, and it'll give you functions based on that, but if you don't define them, you don't have to. And it's got stuff like a weight table, which I just like got inspiration for one day and just coded it, and I'm pretty sure it works. I'm not entirely sure, but I think the weight table works. So that's pretty much it. If you guys want to see more stuff that's happening, I'll link the GitHub project in the description. Goodbye.